So if we're able to clearly see that sharks are needed, then why are they still killed?
In my opinion, these animals were not investigating. These were all predatory attacks.
Welcome to the world of sharks. Let's investigate how these majestic creatures prepare for the inevitable end of their lives. From being an apex predator to numerous species, sharks ultimately succumb to age or diseases. Hold on to your fins and come along on this journey into the amazing world of marine biology. Shark graveyards, a deep-sea mystery. Scientists have speculated about finding underwater areas filled with dead sharks, popularly known as shark graveyards, for several years. These shark corpse dump sites are believed to provide an idea that shark zones could be naturally increasing due to weakened sharks awaiting to die of natural causes. It could also be attributed to some currents that most likely accumulate the remains of sharks in such areas over time. Investigating these graveyards gives an understanding of the mortality of sharks and the main factors that lead to death, such as diseases, predators, or aging. Therefore, by studying the bones left behind in these sites, scientists can determine different species of sharks' lifespans and general life cycles. Such knowledge is essential for conserving the world's apex marine species and guaranteeing the sustainable functionality of ocean ecosystems. Furthermore, knowing the phenomenon of species behavior in case of their natural death helps to improve the knowledge of ecologists. It shows how sharks relate to their surroundings and how they breed to form successive generations. This approach helps develop strategies for managing factors that threaten sharks, such as determining human activities like overfishing and pollution of their habitats. In other words, the identification and investigation of such shark burial grounds contribute not only to the understanding of shark death, but also to the role of these animals in the ocean's ecosystem. Sharks act as flagship species, and their health indicates the state of our oceans. Our commitment to conserving and managing them sustainably increases. Sharks' immune system and aging. These ocean-dwelling creatures have existed for millions of years, withstood all the dangers, and adjusted to the harshest conditions of the sea. But a hidden superpower lies beyond their sharp teeth and powerful jaws: their outstanding overall immunity. These creatures are, in fact, equipped with an immune system that is known to no modern organism, which excited scientists and inspired dreams of a new medical revolution. Low incidence of diseases such as cancer, quick rate of healing of injuries, and ability to fight infections in sharks make them rare victims of the ailments. Their immune system, which evolved over 1 million years, contains secrets that could change the current knowledge of diseases and create opportunities for novel treatments. Shark immunity is quite peculiar, and the best part of it is the type of antibodies known as VNRs. These are small and much more diverse than human antibodies. The proteins can latch onto viruses and bacteria in ways the human immune system cannot. This has paved the way for extensive research on shark antibodies that may be employed in treating the following diseases. Cancer. However, the application of shark immunity has not stopped at just antibodies. They also have another interesting view on their immune response and organization, such as specific cells and molecules that enable them to prevent infections and restore tissue damage. Although the analysis of shark immunity has not been popular among scholars for a long period of time yet, it is possible to mention that the opportunities are enormous. Can these prehistoric predators be essential in dealing with new cures for some of the most menacing diseases? From pup to senior, shark life's final chapters. Sharks go through developmental stages, from the small and helpless pups to the wise and weary seniors, every stage characterized by changes in their biological processes. Being the predators, their life expectancy differs a lot depending on the kind of species, though it may take them decades or centuries to die. During this phase, sharks experience substantial morphological and behavioral transitions that may correspond to the species' functions in marine communities. At a young age, sharks focus mainly on growth and acquiring other basic hunting skills. Maturity results in territory formation and improvement of hunting tactics, which become the cornerstones of organisms and are important for population control of prey. However, older sharks' movement can be slower, because their energy reserves are low due to environmental factors. Adults, especially near the termination of the stage, are characterized by a slow growth rate, low reproductive fitness, and high susceptibility to diseases. Knowledge about these characteristics and factors of shark aging is valuable for marine biologists who investigate the dynamics of ecosystems and the species addressed regarding their protection and conservation. Shark diseases and parasites. Sharks are often seen as invincible, but even these majestic creatures are vulnerable to diseases and parasites. Beneath their tough exterior lies a complex biological system that can be compromised by a variety of ailments, both internal and external. Parasites, such as tapeworms and copepods, often latch onto sharks, feeding on their blood and tissues. These uninvited guests can weaken their host, making them more susceptible to other diseases and infections. Additionally, some parasites can cause direct harm, leading to skin lesions, internal organ damage, and even death. While sharks have a remarkable ability to heal from injuries, their immune systems are not foolproof. The constant battle against parasites, bacteria, and viruses takes a toll, especially on older or weaker individuals. This hidden threat to their health highlights the importance of understanding and protecting these vital creatures. Impact of climate change on aging sharks. These majestic creatures have weathered countless storms and environmental shifts throughout history. However, the looming threat of climate change poses a unique challenge, particularly for aging individuals already facing the natural decline of their physical abilities. As ocean temperatures rise and marine ecosystems change drastically, older sharks become increasingly vulnerable. Their metabolism, already slowing with age, may struggle to adapt to warmer waters, impacting their energy levels and overall health. Additionally, changes in prey distribution and abundance due to climate change can make it harder for older sharks to find food, leading to malnutrition and weakening their resilience. The increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, such as hurricanes and marine heat waves, also pose a significant threat. These events can disrupt habitats, alter migration patterns, and cause stress, which is particularly detrimental to aging sharks with reduced physiological resilience. Additionally, ocean acidification, a consequence of increased carbon dioxide absorption by the ocean, can affect the shark's sensory systems, making it more challenging to navigate and find prey. Shark tagging and tracking. Technological development has also impacted how scientists monitor sharks, especially their age. Shark tagging and tracking include researchers following the procedure of attaching different types of tags to the sharks, and each of them is used for collecting different information. Location, depth, water temperature, the shark's heart rate, body temperature, and activities, as well as with the other shark species, are some of the tags. This information is then relayed to satellites or underwater listeners, hence enabling the tracking of the movements of the animals and gaining more information on their lifestyle and physical well-being. Tagging and tracking of sharks have produced lots of useful information on the migration, feeding, and interaction of the sharks. They know that some animals can swim thousands of miles across oceans, and realize that some of them are linked with particular feeding or breeding grounds. This knowledge is important to know more about the position of sharks in the ocean and to create proper approaches for their protection. However, shark tagging and tracking are not the only prerogatives of scientists and other professionals in the sphere. Thanks to companies like Oakchurch, anyone can track the movements of tagged sharks, thus developing a better understanding of the species and recognizing its importance to the ocean's populations. This shark tagging and tracking tool has greatly impacted our knowledge about these beautiful beasts. Thanks to it, people can see behind the scenes during amniotic fluid film, investigate, and secure the creature's future for several generations. Shark reproduction and life cycle. Thus, sharks reproduce differently, as each species has its own peculiarities in living conditions. Contrary to many other bony fish, sharks, being oviparous fish, have an internal fertilization system in which males use their claspers to inject sperm into females' bodies. Hence, diversity starts from there. This category is called oviparity. Such sharks lay eggs in some cases on the ocean bottom or hold on to seaweed. Some, including the great white shark, lay eggs, but the eggs hatch inside water, and the young are live births. Some species, like the hammerhead shark, are viviparous. They feed their embryos in the womb through a yolk sac identical to that of mammals. These different reproduction types show that sharks are versatile and can survive in many conditions. Some species deliver a couple of pups in a litter they have to protect and rear. Others can breed up to dozens of young ones at a time, assuming that a certain portion of them will survive. Knowledge of sharks' reproductive patterns is critical for conserving sharks. The ability to forecast future population growth and analyze the impact of stressors on shark lifespans is instrumental in their conservation. Predatory pressure on aging sharks. Beneath the waves, a silent struggle for survival unfolds as aging sharks face the relentless pressure of predation. Although such predators are depicted as almost superhuman, life is far from easy for them, especially when they are aging. Additionally, as with any other living creature, physical prowess reduces with age as far as sharks are concerned. They get to be slow, unresponsive, and easily outcompeted by young, fast, and therefore healthier members of their species. This change in positions can greatly impact the whole system, as every top-level predator, which the sharks are, and all the species they prey on will be influenced. For instance, researchers have proposed and noted that old sharks might be easily vulnerable to attacks from other sharks and hunters, like orcas and even larger species of sharks. They may also fail in the competition for food, thus developing malnutrition and thus weakened defense. Great white sharks and natural mortality. When it comes to great white sharks, it is quite imminent to note that these fish are gigantic creatures of the ocean, but immortality does not spare them as well. Great white sharks, like any other species, have growth and reproduction in mind, but as they age, there is a sign of a decline in hunting prowess and even the achievement of poor swimming speed. Unlike most other fish species, great white sharks have no conspicuous annual rings, making it hard to estimate their age. When approximating their age, scientists investigate methods such as analyzing cross-sections of trees of vertebrate growth or observing the concentrated isotopes in tissues. Researchers believe great whites have a life expectancy of 70 years and above, but there is no precise figure for how long the giant predators can live. Therefore, the natural mortality rate in great whites is ambiguous and predetermined by the rate of factors such as predation, sicknesses, external injuries, and aging, among others. Young sharks often get captured by larger predators, such as orcas or other great white sharks, but there are no other great white shark threats. Nevertheless, they are not protected from diseases or injuries obtained from hunting or in the process of mating. Bull sharks and stress factors. The bull sharks are arguably the most dangerous and are well known to cause several attacks on human beings. Bull sharks are obligate predators found in both salt and fresh waters. However, their flexibility makes them vulnerable to numerous sources of stress that inhumanely affect the aging process. Many factors, such as pollution, habitat destruction, and climate change, negatively affect the aging bull shark. These stressors will lower their immunity, making them prone to diseases and parasites that affect the family. Also, due to increased stress, the old bull sharks may change their behavior and become more aggressive, or just the opposite, avoid certain territories. Hammerhead sharks and genetic factors. Hammerhead sharks, with their distinctive T-shaped heads, are among the ocean's most recognizable and fascinating creatures. Their wide-set eyes provide a panoramic view, enhancing their ability to detect prey, while their cephalofoil, or hammer-shaped head, aids in maneuvering and sensory perception. However, these unique predators face a growing threat of extinction, largely due to human activities. Research has shown that certain genetic traits can predispose them to longer or shorter lifespans. For instance, some hammerhead sharks possess genetic variations that make them more resistant to diseases and environmental stressors, allowing them to live longer and healthier lives. The fate of hammerhead sharks hangs in the balance, with many species now listed as endangered or critically endangered. Conservation efforts, including stricter fishing regulations, marine protected areas, and public awareness campaigns, are crucial to ensure the survival of these magnificent creatures. Tiger sharks, the garbage cans of the sea. Tiger sharks prefer different types of presenting conditions, including coastal waters and the ocean. This flexibility is especially important for their endurance. Like other species of sharks, their reproduction rates are quite slow, making them very vulnerable to fishing. Their fins, used to produce shark fin soup, are some of the body parts that are highly sought after, which triggers the hunting and killing of these animals, thereby reducing their populations. Also, through bycatch, tiger sharks are indirectly captured in fishing gear targeted for other species. This unintended capture can consequently lead to physical, stress-related injuries, and even death, thus slowing the rate of breeding among the affected species. Besides this, tiger sharks, which are largely considered to feed on anything that comes their way, possess significant management and balance because of their position in marine ecosystems. Said pathogens target sick or weak contemporaries. That is how they have earned their second name, the garbage cans of the sea. They assist in maintaining the health status of the identified populations and ensure they do not spread diseases. If removed from the ecosystem, such species may negatively influence the food chain, thus producing an array of new changes. Greenland shark, twice as old as America. Greenland sharks, which live in the polar regions of the Arctic Ocean, never cease to spark scientific interest due to their unusual characteristics and the fact that they are practically immortal. These cold water species can live for up to 300 years and are, therefore, among the oldest living vertebrates on the planet. Long-lived as they are, Greenland sharks grow relatively slowly, and it takes 500 years to mature sexually. They are slow-moving animals adapted to live in the harsh conditions of the Arctic. They mainly eat fish, seals, and even sometimes decomposing animals. Their diet and slow metabolic rates explain why they move slowly and consume little energy. Greenland sharks' tissues contain toxic substances that help them live in below-zero environments. These have made them, in one way or another, a special subject of study when trying to decipher how different organisms can deal with extreme environmental stresses. Their massive size, reaching up to 23 feet in length, and slow metabolism allow them to survive in the harsh, cold depths. These sharks are known to be opportunistic feeders, consuming a variety of prey, including fish, seals, and even carrion. However, their diet and hunting strategies remain largely mysterious, as much of their lives are spent in the ocean's dark depths. Ancient shark history and extinct species. The history of sharks is filled with fascinating stories of adaptation and survival. Many ancient shark species, such as the helicoprion with its bizarre spiral jaw, have long been extinct. Studying these extinct species provides critical clues about sharks' challenges in different geological periods. Climate change, oceanic shifts, and predation significantly affected their extinction. The study of ancient sharks provides valuable insights into the evolution of these incredible creatures and their impact on the marine environment. By examining their fossils and reconstructing their behavior, scientists can piece together the history of life in the oceans and understand the factors that have shaped shark diversity over millions of years. Remains of sharks found in fossil records. Further, studies in fossils have been useful in offering insights regarding old-age sharks and their reproductive cycles. Large finds of sharks, for example Megalodon, show how sharks of those eras used to subsist and their destiny. These remains aid researchers in reconstructing sharks' evolution, particularly in aspects such as structure, actions, and habitats. Modern sharks undergo the true process of growing up and aging, and researchers have noted that prehistoric sharks were not an exception as growth, health, and decline parameters were ascribed to them. In addition to proving the existence of teeth, fossilized vertebrae, fish scales, and even complete skeletons, have further helped demonstrate and paint a vivid picture of these prehistoric fishes. They can trace their body outlines, determine their size, and venture into deductions regarding their swimming patterns and eating habits. Sharks' role in marine ecosystems. When we say the word shark, the first thing that comes to our mind is fearsome predators, but there's more to that. Sharks have a very important and often misunderstood place in the ocean's food chain. These fish species, which have existed for millions of years, are the top predators and the architects of aquatic communities. Sharks are considered apex predators and therefore control the numbers of their prey, thus avoiding the overexploitation of their prey's food resources. Such a top-down control influences every level of the food chain and prevents the general unrest that characterizes food webs, thus maintaining an ecosystem stability. Additionally, sharks ensure the genetic health of their prey population since they tend to choose the weaker or diseased ones. This process favors the survival of the best-fitted species and promotes the ecosystem's health as a whole. Contrary to their importance, sharks are under immense pressure from human-induced activities, including overfishing, habitat loss, and climate change. If sharks continue to be killed, several consequences may occur, including negative impacts on marine check and balance, and the possibility of an ecological meltdown. Human impact on shark lifespan. Humans have significant effects on shark species and their lifespans. Conflicts such as overfishing, water pollution, and habitat loss are real and can cause sharks' early deaths. Commercial fishing, in which sharks are targeted for other species, also depletes their population through bycatch. Pollution, including plastics and chemicals, causes sharks to fall ill and have compromised immune systems. Sharks lose their breeding and feeding grounds due to habitat destruction, mostly affecting coastal regions. Therefore, it is important to fully understand the human-induced challenges to develop the correct approach to conservation. Specifically, fishing sharks to supply the demand for shark fin soup is detrimental and unsustainable from an ecological perspective. Derailing systems of apex predators affect the oceans and their ability to produce food. Conservation of sharks and the balance of the ocean are possible only through responsible fishing. Sharks in captivity. Sharks in captivity offer valuable insights into their behavior and aging process, although their lifespan and health can differ significantly from those in the wild. Captive sharks often receive regular medical care and a steady food supply, which can extend their lives. But here's the problem. Captive sharks, confined to artificial environments, often exhibit altered behaviors compared to their wild counterparts. Their instincts to roam vast distances, hunt for prey, and engage in complex social interactions are stifled within the limited space of a tank. This can lead to stress, boredom, and even physical ailments. Furthermore, the artificial diet and feeding schedules in captivity can disrupt their natural feeding patterns, potentially leading to nutritional deficiencies and health issues. The lack of environmental stimuli, such as varying currents and temperatures, can also impact their sensory systems and overall well-being. Shark gatherings. Many of the ocean predators featured in the enigmatic social lives of ocean predators are assumed to be solitary animals with social aspects to their lives. The sea's most magnificent animals gather in impressive flocks at some time and space, creating harmonious, beautiful visions of togetherness, contradicting the general view of the most solitary animals on Earth. Practiced in certain regions and certain times of the year, these assemblies have confused scholars for generations. What motivates sharks to congregate in large numbers, for which rubbing against other sharks is rare? Why do people engage in such assemblies, and what is the role played by these assemblies? Another theory is the social partying speculation that sharks gather in specific areas to mate or reproduce. Some argue these areas may represent feeding grounds because sharks congregate in the identified zones to feed. Nevertheless, the precise causes of such assemblies have been unsure. Some aggregations comprise only one species, while others involve many species in various interactions. Few gatherings are temporary and last a few hours at most, while some may last weeks or even up to a period of 1 month or more. Shark conservation efforts. Shark preservation is complex, consisting of numerous activities and measures. Among them are the setting of marine resource protection zones where sharks can freely live with no danger of fishing, the installation of tighter measures that would enhance fish yields rather than overexploiting them, and tech advancement in cutting on bycatch and impacts of fishing gears on sharks. Among these, awareness and knowledge of the general public are also critical in conserving sharks. Unfortunately, when such misconceptions are spread, it is up to the people to see or not see the purpose of sharks in the sea. This can also provide an opportunity to eliminate myths and beliefs connected with them, which can lead to understanding the need to preserve sharks. Shark observations and tracking involve the overall study of the species and its location, migration, and threat level. Scientifically, data collection may assist scientists in understanding more about sharks' behavior, distribution, and rates of abundance, hence the efficient preservation of sharks, and more so, the continuation of the acts of preservation. By working together, we can ensure that these iconic predators continue to play their vital role in maintaining the health and balance of our oceans, and of course, serve as an inspiration for movies like The Megalodon. Anyways, with this, our journey comes to an end. Stay tuned for more, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.